Who's planning to stay and play afterwards? Well, we do invite you to stick around after Chamber Cafe and take a tour, try things out, see if you can get everything in light up. Patricia and I will not offer to help you with that. So. Anyhow, good morning. I'm Lisa Workman with the Fergus Falls Chamber. So glad you're joining us here for Chamber Cafe here at Otter Cove. What a fabulous asset, what a fabulous place to play. What a great destination right here in Fergus Falls. And so I'm so glad that Otter Cove is hosting today. We're going to hear from Katie Gano, the Executive Director here in just a moment. We've got a great lineup of speakers. As we roll through the speakers, we're going to open it up at the end. We're going to try something different today for a little open forum. So if you've got, would like a couple minutes or want to try out speaking at Chamber Cafe, today will be a great day to do that. But first of all, we'll get started with introductions. And then after introductions, our speakers who've signed up early for that will speak, and they'll get up to 3 minutes to speak. At 2.5 minutes, they'll see the yellow flag. At 3 minutes, the red flag, that means your time is up. At 4 minutes, we'll see what happens. I'll probably get and grab some fish and throw them at you or something like that. So anyhow, we want to keep things moving quickly so that everyone leaves this morning with some snippets of information. And then after Chamber Cafe, you can reconnect with people and find out more information or get details, share business cards, all that kind of good stuff. So really, Chamber Cafe sets the stage for some great networking later on, and for you being great community ambassadors, knowing the truth about what's happening in Fergus Falls. First of all, I'd like to share a little bit about some things that are going on with the Chamber, and then we'll do some introductions. For the month of November, it is Shop Local season, and we like to promote our campaign. It's called Shop, Drop, and Win, where we encourage you to shop locally, of course, all the time, but especially during the holiday season. Starting on the Wednesday, Winter White Wednesday, the market has a big sale there on Wednesday, but starting on Wednesday, November 23rd, start saving your receipts for all of those dollars that you spend right here in Fergus Falls. You'll be able to register both online and at the Chamber office to win Fergus Bucks. And we'll give away over $500 in Fergus Bucks and prizes during Shop, Drop, and Win. The campaign runs from Wednesday, November 23rd, which is the day before Thanksgiving, until December 12th. And we'll give away all the money in time so that folks have a chance to reinvest those Fergus Bucks back into the community in time for Christmas. Also, coming up on the calendar is November 26th, which is Small Business Saturday. And then on December 3rd, we invite you to cap off the Over the River Festival Day with a fun holiday party. It's our first ever Chamber Merry Mix and Mingle holiday party, Saturday, December 3rd at the Eagles. We're starting it with appetizers and a social hour at 6:30, so that will be just in time for you to enjoy the fireworks after the Over the River Festival Day of events. And then come on over to the Eagles Club for appetizers, enjoy a cocktail, you'll have a dinner, and a great comedian, John Bush, will be taking the stage at 8:30 p.m. It's $50 per person, includes pretty much everything, so including all the planning. So it'll be a great way for you to either get together with friends or coworkers. If you want to do a small holiday office party, we can reserve tables for you for that. So that is the Merry Mix and Mingle holiday party, and those are some of the big things that are coming up with the Chamber. And as we start looking into 2023, our next Chamber Cafes in January and March will be virtual. And the reason we're going virtual is that, well, we're in Minnesota, and even on, November 10th, we're starting to wonder about weather, aren't we? It's like last night when I heard the weather forecast, I thought, oh, come on, not this early. So we will be virtual, so allow anyone to attend and speak virtually, and you won't have to worry about weather conditions or anything like that. So I invite you to log into our virtual Chamber Cafe coming up in 2023. So those are some of the things that are going on with the Chamber. With that, I'm going to turn it over to our host today. Oh, okay, yeah. See, I always forget introduction. I even put it on my list. Thank you. Thank you for your grace this morning as I get my brain back together. Alrighty, so now, you ready, Katie? Okay, we're going to turn it over to our host. Let's give them a big round of applause. Here we go.
Well, thank you, everyone. Lisa was just so excited to go down the curving slide.
Right.
Somebody has to get it first. So, good morning and welcome to Otter Cove. Like you said, I'm Katie Gano, Executive Director. Thank you for being here this morning. Hopefully we don't have any snow yet. Before I get started, just wanted to thank a few people. First of all, Chamber staff for helping me facilitate this today. Michael over at Center for the Arts, he helped us out last night on loaned us our tables and chairs. Perks and Service Food, they donated our coffee and our breakfast this morning, so huge thank you. And we have a ton, so please take some with you when you leave today. And then finally to our Otter Cove board members. They were here last night helping set up, and then almost everybody's here this morning too, so huge thank you there. I feel like I'm accepting an Oscar. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. So, you know, as the end of the year is really quickly approaching, like 6 weeks away, I've just been reflecting a lot on this year and lessons learned, things we'll do differently, what we've accomplished. And really my big takeaway, as I've just been thinking about it, has been that children and families are really hurting right now in a lot of different ways. And to be part of a place that offers even just a little bit of a break from that, from those stressors, those burdens, all of those worries, and provides a little bit of joy and connection is such a privilege. And I'm just so happy that you're here this morning to be in this space and experience a little bit of that yourself. And so I've come to realize that that is really our biggest accomplishment. You know, we have on the table kind of our stats of visitors we've served and where they're coming from, and that's super important. But really our biggest accomplishment is that Otter Cove is more than just this physical space that we're in. You know, yes, it is a really cool facility, and I definitely want you to check it out later. And we do these really fun events, and that's so important. But what it's really about is the heart and the community that our staff has done a really phenomenal job of creating and fostering. And so my hope is that when children and families leave Otter Cove, that they walk out of here feeling loved and valued and confident and capable, and they carry that out with them in the world. So, you know, I've been thinking about that and what we've accomplished, but I've also been thinking about what's next. You know, how do we keep that going, that community, and how do we make it bigger? How do we do more for children and families? And so you may have heard, probably from me, that we're expansion planning. And I know I just said it's not about the building, but that's a big part of what we do. So. And so by the end of this year, we will have a new plan that will lay out what it could look like were we to own and occupy this entire building, all 3 levels, reconfigure the space, put in an elevator, you know, new exhibits, make it even more accessible, what it could look like. And so early 2023, probably a lot of 2023, will be spent really digging into that plan and kind of figuring out, okay, what's that going to cost? You know, is it feasible? Is it sustainable? Is that something that we can take on? And so, because we want to make sure that if, you know, now is the time, or 2 years from now is the time, or whenever, that we're doing it right. So we want to be really thoughtful and intentional with that planning. And so stay tuned, you know, we'll continue to share updates as we have them. I think I say that every Chamber Cafe, but just stay tuned, there's always going to be more. You know, so we're thinking long term, and we have these really big dreams for what this space could be, you know, at some point down the road. But just as important, maybe more important, is how we continue to expand opportunities and access now. You know, how can we grow our programming, our outreach opportunities to connect with more children and families in Berks Falls, Ottertail County, and across the region? What else can we do right now to better serve children and families? And so the possibilities really are endless. The challenge comes with narrowing it down and figuring out what we're going to do. But to continue doing that work, we need our community support, and just being here this morning is incredible. And so there's a few different handouts on your tables, just with different ways that we can maybe work together, that your organization can support Otter Cove. The first one is either a little orange or yellow little half-sheet survey. Just ask a couple questions about, you know, a possible capital campaign, what that might look like, and then ways that we can maybe partner with your organization or business, whether that's, you know, financial partnership or a programming partnership. Maybe there's something that we haven't even thought about. There's a really cool way we can work together. Just kind of want your feedback on that. So if at some point today you can fill that out, both sides, and then just leave it on your tables, and we'll come along and collect that. We just want to kind of get some input on how we can be a better partner ourselves. So that's one huge way. The other is this little wrap card, front and back. You know, we're heading into the holiday season and year-end giving and all of that good stuff. So we have 3 ways to give the gift of play. They're a little bit out of order, but the first opportunity coming up Next Thursday, a week from today, is Give to the Max Day, which is kind of Minnesota's like giving holiday. So it's a great opportunity to support all of your favorite nonprofits. And Otter Cove is participating in that. There's a little QR code that will take you right to our profile. So that's an opportunity. We set a pretty lofty goal of raising $10,000. So early giving is underway now through next Thursday. So that's one opportunity. The next coming up is our 3rd annual Festival of Lights. That is our drive-through lights display up at the Kirkbride. We've expanded it this year. We're running it for 10 days, starting November 30th through December 10th. We do have a few display spots available, so if you're interested in maybe setting up a display, learning more about that, Tasha is kind of our point person for that event. I can kind of give you all the details on that. We're also looking for volunteers for that event to help us collect donations. We don't charge for this event, but we do collect free will donations, and so we have folks standing out up by our little fish house and greeting folks. So that's also, Tasha's handling that thing as well. So if you're interested in that, that is coming up, what, 2 weeks? Very soon. Soon. And then the final opportunity is our 2023 sponsorship opportunities, thinking about programming next year, access initiatives, lots of different ways. And I see lots of sponsors in the room today that have supported lots of those initiatives. Always looking for ways to expand access to families facing financial barriers, or maybe have some sensory needs, things like that. So there's a few options there. We also do our community events, and then thinking about 2023 Festival of Lights too, which we'll get through this one first. But and I'm sure there'll be more opportunities that come up throughout the year, but these are just kind of what we have confirmed now. So take a look at those. If you have questions about any of them or just want to learn more, let me know. But those are all great ways to kind of to support Otter Cove to continue. Really expanding access has really kind of been our big focus, is how do we serve more children and families, and there's some great ways to do that. So like Lisa said, once we're done today, you're welcome to stay. We can do tours, you're welcome to play. This is all steel reinforced, so you can climb and go down the slides. It's all good. So I'll probably have you sign a waiver first. And then you can do that. So again, thank you so much for being here. That's it. Stay warm. Thank you.
I am first. Right. I'm so glad we got adult-sized chairs.
Bring up the little preschool ones.
I feel so tall when I'm standing next to Lisa, but anyway. I'm Chris Wilkie with the Victor Lundeen Company, and I came to speak to you today on Christmas. Yep, we are right in the middle of November, but that means it's the holiday shopping season already, and right now we do have our Christmas preview and open house going on. You'll save 15% off today and tomorrow. It's the last 2 days of our big sale. And then, like Lisa said, we will be, of course, a big supporter of the Shop, Drop, and Win, which comes up in November. And a great time to shop Lundeen's is our after Thanksgiving sale and Shop Small Saturday, for another 15% off. And then if you do spend $50, you'll get a nice tote bag. The event that I do want to talk about, though, we have an author book signing, which we've been pretty scarce doing those in our store, but we're so excited to let these two come back to Fergus Falls. She's one of our favorite authors. It's Jess Lowry and her friend Sarah Stonick. Jess is originally from St. Cloud area. She's a Minneapolis writer. She wrote the Murder Mystery by Month series set in Battle Lake. So she's a great author. Her Murder by Month mystery book series is short. They're fast reads. You probably could read all 12 of them by the time she comes on December 9th. She does have another great series that's set in Painesville. So she is a local writer. You'll recognize some of the locations in her book. Sarah Stonick is another writer that's coming with her. So we're excited to welcome them. And then while they're here will be our customer appreciation sale, which is our last sale of the holiday season. So you can stop and shop and hopefully get all your Christmas shopping done locally. The one thing we do want to say though is to shop early. A lot of our vendors are already canceling a lot of our orders because they don't have stock, which then means we don't have stock. I know a lot of people are shaking their heads because we all see it. Supply chain and demand is still a big issue. So please come and shop early so we can have that Christmas present for you. And of course, don't forget free gift wrapping. All right, thank you guys.
Let's see. so look for these postcards. These are from Jenny. Jenny's, her assistant baker fell ill this morning, so she wasn't able to make it because her little bakers aren't feeling well. But Jenny's got some great opportunities through the holidays. How many of you like holiday treats? Okay. How many of you, like when you bake like 4 dozens, you know, you get dozens and dozens of cookies, because it really, I mean, you can't bake 6 cookies, right? But you want all the varieties. So I used to like bake like all the varieties, and then in my household, everybody'd have 2, and then they'd all sit there, okay? So you got these table things. So Jenny has a solution for that, where you can order just a little treat tray. Great gift idea, great to have at your house, great housewarming gift, great take it to somebody's house for a party gift, or even office gift. So if your company delivers office treats to people, you can order treat trays. She's also going to have some different pop-up things. She's part of Over the River Festival, and if you have not, okay, raise your hand if you've had her caramel brownie.
The salted caramel.
The salted caramel brownies. Okay, if your hand's not up, they need to be up before Christmas. You need to try the salted caramel brownie with a little ice cream. Heat it up in the microwave a little bit. You will thank me later, or you will hate me later. One of the 2, because you will soon be addicted to the salted caramel brownie. That's it from Jenny. Go to pancakes. Okay, next is Kurt. Let's talk about ice cream.
Ice cream challenge had us in with this year.
This is a little awkward. Anyway, I don't know what you're talking about with the tray of cookies staying around for a long time. That wouldn't happen at our house. Anyway, my name is Kurt. I am married to my wife, and she's my business partner. She's my best friend. She's my wife. She's not here. She had to work this morning. Anyway, I'm going to give you 1 minute of history. We came from New Jersey 10 years ago. While we lived in New Jersey, we had 2 places that we looked at because we wanted to open an ice cream shop just because I like ice cream. I had a couple of partners lined up. Everything fell through. We came out to visit my son, who was out at Hillcrest. While we were here, a realtor called and said, somebody wants to buy your house. We entertained it. We looked at a house across the street where we were at the time. It was for sale. Things were falling into place. We sold that. We bought this. We moved here.
Wow.
So we decided we'll try it for a year. A year has now been 10 years, and it looks like it's going to be longer than that. So that being said, I had a construction company in New Jersey. I continued that, which precise carpentry, and that was going well. I went into Sherwin-Williams paint store one day. I talked to Chris, the manager, and he said, "Did you hear we're moving?" I'm like, "Really?" So I said, "What are you doing with the building?" He said, "It's not our building, we're leasing it." Wheels started turning a little bit again, and I said, "Well, who owns it?" And he gave me the name of the owner. I called the owner. He's like, "Yeah, I want to sell it." That deal went through, that went well. So pieces are just kind of falling in place, which is kind of neat for me because I'm simple and I like things simple. And going back a year before, we had to do some remodeling on the house that we bought, and we tore off the front porch. Underneath that front porch, we found a glass bottle, and it said Fergus Falls Dairy and Ice Cream on it. Which is kind of neat. So I have that bottle at home. I gotta look into it because I can't find any place that we have had an ice cream producing place in Fergus Falls many years ago. Maybe you know. Anyway, the pieces were falling into place. We made a deal. I spent a year crawling on my floor in that shop, peeling out staples, pulling out plywood, getting the floor, chipping. We chipped all the plaster off the wall, exposed the brick, blah, blah, blah. Uncle Eddie's came along. Uncle Eddie's, the name is my father-in-law. He moved out here and he passed away about 6 years ago, but the name just kind of worked, so that's where the name came from. Being I've been in construction my whole life, I was able to do most of the work myself, which is a huge benefit. You know, granted, I probably spent 1,000 hours extra evenings and weekends, but it got done. Also, being in construction my whole life, I like the fact that it's a service. I like leaving a job and people are happy and people get joy out of what you've done. And that's what Uncle Eddie's doing. I love watching little kids come running in the door, happy as can be, leaving even happier. That's what I love about Uncle Eddie's. And what I've learned is anybody can kind of make a burger, anybody can make a donut. Everybody can scoop a scoop of ice cream. But I want it to be an experience. I want families, I want kids to walk in, be excited about it, feel that they're worth something, and I want my staff to be the best possible staff. I want a smile on their face. I want the families, the people that come in, feel like this is for me. And that's what we're striving to do. We're baby stepping it because we're new at it, so we're adding things as time goes on. This Saturday, we're having our pint sale. We're bringing in about 5 or 6, maybe 7 vendors, because we have the space, because we're not going to have the seating. So people will come in and buy pints, hopefully scope around and see there's some vendors. And so I encourage you, follow us on Facebook or Instagram or whatever and see what we got going on. I've also learned, I don't see a flag yet.
Oh,
so,
yeah. I'm trained to watch
those 4 minutes.
This is kind of my motto. You know, when I have a business, the customer is always number one. And I've had contractors that have contractors, kids work for them and be like, well, make sure you don't work in this area, make sure. If I have a kid that wants to come in and learn construction for 2 years, and his goal is to start another business next to me, that's the best. I want him on my team because he wants to learn. He wants to be the best. And I don't mind competition because that'll improve me, you know, but I want, and that, you know, people and contractors and different businesses sign things, you know, I don't want you to do this business when you leave me. To me, that's wrong. You know, I'm here to help that young kid or that person to do the same thing. I had those people teach me. I'm still the guy that go up to say, if you do something better than me in construction, I want you to teach me. And that's just been my motto, and I give and take that way. So, guys, I thank you for accepting us into Fergus Fall as an ice cream shop, as a contractor, but Uncle Eddie's, it feels like we've been accepted, and I love that. And I love the fact that parents come in and say, my kid can't read, but he knows this. He sees that, and he's like, let's go, you know, kind of thing. So that's where we're at. So thank you, guys. One more thing. When we found out about Cheryl Williams, the first person I went and talked to was Amy, because she was working in the town, and she got the ball rolling a little bit. So thank you, Amy.
And I love ice cream.
Katie, you are up next.
All right. Well, I love that Lisa says one of the best things about coming to Chamber Cafe is learning the truth about what's happening in Fergus Falls, right? So the truth I want you to leave with today is that Lake Region Healthcare and Sanford are not merging. Sanford is not buying Lake Region Healthcare. It's a rumor that's rampant today because of this big project that we've got going on. And that's what I want to share with you. If you have been in or around Lake Region Healthcare lately, you've probably noticed we've been working really hard at bringing you a new electronic medical record. And this process started several years ago, and for the last 2 years has been pretty intensive work of transitioning from what were 3 separate health record systems. We had one in our clinic, one in our hospital, and one in our Elbow, Leg, and Morris locations. So you might have had the experience where you went to the emergency room and they didn't seem to know anything about what your doctor at the clinic knew. It's because those record systems didn't talk to each other. So this process of bringing all 3 of those records together on one new system is what we've been working for a long time, and I'm happy to say we went live on Epic, the gold standard in electronic medical records, last Tuesday, November 1st. And we're 10 days into it, and things are going well. If you've had an appointment in the last 10 days, thank you for your patience. It's been a process. We've had about 130 extra people in our clinics and hospitals from Sanford and from Epic helping us with elbow-to-elbow support for our physicians, our nurses, our registration staff, everyone, and they've been fantastic. So the reason that Sanford is involved is that we're not big enough as an organization to buy Epic directly. We need to buy it from a vendor who acts as a hub. So Sanford is our Community Connect hub to buy Epic and bring it to our community. And they've been a fantastic partner. And our mission at Lake Region Healthcare is we partner to enrich life through health. And Sanford really has been a great partner. They share our mission and our vision of keeping care as close to home as possible. When it came to picking who our hub vendor would be, you all really told us that Sanford made the most sense. We could have gone with CentraCare, we could have gone with Essentia, we could have gone with a vendor in another state for that matter. But when you can't get a specialty service or a higher level of care that we don't offer at Lake Region Healthcare, 80% of you go to Sanford. So it just makes sense that we would share our medical record system with Sanford. And that's what we're doing. They've been a fantastic partner. And we're so excited to bring you Epic. And MyChart is one of the things that comes with Epic. And what I want to leave you with today is what MyChart can do. And if you're not already a MyChart user, to encourage you to sign up and get a MyChart account. If you already have MyChart with Sanford, you don't need to do a thing. Your records at Lake Region Healthcare will start showing up on your MyChart automatically. If you don't, I invite you to check out lrhc.org/mychart. You'll read about what you can do with MyChart, find the links to sign up, and you'll be connected from there. I've got a few of these little cards with me too if you want one that reminds you that MyChart really gives you easy access to your health information. Lets you talk with your doctor, make your appointment, get your lab results right away. All simple and easy in a nice app or a computer platform. So, bottom line, Sanford's our partner. They're not buying Lake Region Healthcare out. We're not merging with them. But you'll see their logo. They're part of our electronic medical record system, and they're a great partner that shares their vision for care close to home. Download MyChart if you haven't already. And if you have an appointment coming up, check in online before. If you have MyChart, that'll save you some time. Or if not, come a little early, come with a little extra patience as we continue to learn the new system. And one last plug for our gift shop, a nice distraction if you do have an appointment. Lake Region Healthcare's auxiliary gift shop has a pop-up shop set up in our clinic lobby this week with some fantastic Christmas shopping opportunities as well. So thanks for the time.
Standing up here. I need a sash and a tiara.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Jean Bowman with the City of Fergus Falls, and I started in that position September 12th. So your last Chamber Cafe, I believe Clara was here. I was on vacation in Colorado, so it's been a quick 2 months, and during most of that time I've been focused on what happened a couple days ago. Elections. So I've had to put a whole lot of communication related activities on the back burner, and I'm going to just be in my office getting my act together and figuring out what needs to happen going forward. This is a new position, so we're writing the book. I'm writing the book as we go with the City Council and the City staff, identifying the priorities. But I know Katie called out the word truth, and I wrote that on my paper as you said it. I think in a void of communication, people make up stuff. You ever notice that? We don't want that. I'm not here to dispel myths today, but if you have a question about something, please ask me. I don't have all the answers, but I know where to get them. So I would encourage you to use me as a resource. And I have a few items. I'm going to start with the most timely first, and that is snow emergencies. The city will plow emergency routes first, and there's a map on the city website if we have to go down that path. As business owners along your roadways, or even residents, it's our responsibility to shovel from your business or home to the curb. So those last 6 feet, the business owner or resident needs to please keep that area clear. Elections. We thank our election workers. Over 100 people here in Fergus Falls worked at our 4 different election locations and went out before election day to help folks in nursing homes and assisted living facilities vote, so they wouldn't have to go out on Tuesday. Of course, we thank the community for passing the 2 items on the ballot regarding an aquatics facility and D Lagoon Park. And it was 60% in favor, so it wasn't close. And I think the city council will hear loud and clear that the city wants this momentum, this progress for Fergus Falls and families and activities and things to do. I'm going to do an aside and point out to Tasha, one of the projects is the downtown riverfront phase 2, where the splash pad will go. That's right here behind City Hall and behind Otter Cove. And there's a private fundraising sector or component to that. Is it $1 million or $2 million?
$2 million, and $1 million has already been committed.
So if your business or trust or checkbook finds that of interest, please see Tasha, and thank you for leading that piece of it. The Bigwood Event Center has a new manager. You might know Jess Torgeson, who was with the Cadets. She started on November 1st. So the Bigwood Event Center is still open for business. She works out there on site and is working on not only serving the clients that are already booked, but getting word out in the community. So she'd be a great speaker sometime, Lisa.
Yes, I wrote it down.
Okay. I'm going to occasionally give updates about the top items that the city council has handled at a committee or at a council meeting. And the one I'm going to point to from just Monday night was that the city approved a conditional use permit for the Welcome House. You might be familiar with their thrift shop that raises funds. Well, they're going to build a new sober home at 314 West Cavour. So it'll be kind of the women's version of the Matthew House, which you've maybe read about in the paper. And somebody can speak from Welcome House sometime too. But because they want 10 women to live in the house, they needed a special permit approval from the council to have more than 5. So the city, the planning commission, they went through all the planning, public hearings and all that good stuff. So they approved that. So they've got a few things to happen in the meantime. And lastly, just to know that the city is also working on the child care issue. You've all heard that there's a child care shortage, and they're working with First Children's Finance and a collaborative from the city, the county, providers, the business community. I know Pioneer Care, Steve's not here, but he's on that group too. So they've got a couple of things coming up to work on identifying solutions. And I put a flyer on many of your tables related to the first event that's coming up, and that's a provider appreciation event. That's going to be at M-State. So if you know of a health or a daycare provider who might be interested in that, and there will also be some continuing ed credits offered as well. So I think that's my spiel for today. I have so much good news to share about the city. I'm getting all the flags, but I do have my same phone numbers, both cell and work. So give me a ring, a text, send smoke signals, and I'll be there. Thank you.
Thanks, Jean.
Jean, can I ask a question?
Yes.
So the door prizes that you have on there, are you looking for donations?
We are.
Yes.
We are.
Okay.
Yes.
It's a community.
Yeah, like gift baskets or
Yeah,
what are
yeah.
you looking for?
That would be great.
Yes. All that well.
Whatever we can, we'll take whatever we can. Yeah.
Mary Madison, you're up next.
Okay. Let me see, can I just speak? Okay.
No, you can
I'll
get
get up here.
Walk the dog.
I won't get up here. Okay, well, I'm glad to be here today. The ice and stuff isn't supposed to come till 2 o'clock, so we've got plenty of time and everything. Today is National Community Education Day, and it's celebrated in Minnesota the second Thursday of the month of each year. And Minnesota Community Education is celebrating 53 years. Woohoo! And so anyway, the formal movement in community education started in 1950 in Flint, Michigan. I'm giving you a little history lesson. In 1968, Minneapolis schools established the first community education department in Minnesota. And Fergus Falls Community Education Program started in 1972. Through community education, school districts are uniquely positioned to serve the needs of learners of all ages. To community education, the mandate is very clear. Understand the community, bring people together to solve problems, and utilize your knowledge, commitment, and skills for change. And we do that every day. Last night, we have a partnership with M-State. We did a food class for students. They came to our facility, and it was just really fun. Also, we have a barn pull class. Tell me, are we going to have it? She comes from North Dakota on Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. And then we've got firearm carry and renewal that Saturday and everything. And we've had lots of things, and I listen to what people want and everything. We have a handgun familiarization class for women and men, and the list goes on. We start ski ambies, and I'm missing Dennis Bowman. He said he's going to come back and help train the new people. You know, he for years went skiing with the kids every Saturday or Friday night, and it was great. I could trust him. We knew they were safe, and we could clear all the hurdles and everything. We have pediatric first aid, lots of those. We have a youth snowmobile class in January. They've got to do some things online, and then we've got a blast babysitting class. Also, next week we have to service for the community. We've got a United Way food drive for the backpack programs. Right after this, I'm going over to the middle school section of Kennedy Secondary School and meeting with the students. I did yesterday, and we're giving them a little lesson on money. They've got little pieces of candy, and they've got a scenario that we work them through. You've got this, your daughter has strep throat, you don't, you know, and everything, and they're little pieces of candy, they have to take them off, and they realize for bankers that they're in debt, they don't have any money, what are they going to do? So we make it a full round robin and everything. If anyone would like to offer a class, call me. You know, we're busy, we go weekends, evenings, and everything. I'm just a phone call away. So anyway, that is what Community Ed does, and I've heard about your program. I've heard about everyone that was up here, Uncle Eddie's, when our grandchildren come to town. That's where they go, and they think you are better than the Twin Cities or Sioux Falls. So anyway, welcome all of you for Community Ed, and like I said, I'm a phone call away. I would like any of you to offer a class, and I might have to talk to you. I need someone for our woodworking class. One night a week, okay? Okay.
So who learned something today that they didn't know before they got here? Isn't that the best part about coming to the Chamber Cafe? Again, it's the truth about what's going on. We're the first to learn that Rolando Elizondo, you say it.
Rolando. It's
Rolando.
like Orlando, but
Rolando.
they are those first. So, Rolando.
Everybody. Rolando. Is the new executive director at Visit Fergus Falls, and we know now that Lake Region is launching new software and patient electronic records, not merging with SAM. So all these great things that we get to learn here at Chamber Cafe. Super excited about that. Mark your calendars for January 12th. That'll be our next Chamber Cafe. Before that, we want to open it up to see if there are others who have some information that they're dying to share before January 12th. Otherwise, let us know, and we will get you on the list for them. But Amy, little open floor because we've got a little extra time here, and then we're going to give away some prizes.
Prizes are good.
Yeah.
All right, Jean mentioned the effort that Fergus Falls is leading for looking for solutions to our childcare challenges, but right now, the county does have grants for our existing providers to help keep them, their space fresh. We know particularly for those in-home providers, the wear and tear on their homes, the need for updating the things the littles use, whether it's toys or curriculum. So we have grants for existing providers as well as expansion. So new startup, whether in-home centers or that hybrid pod that gets talked about. That's what Pioneer Care is doing on site. So just keep that in mind if you know anyone who might be looking or who is an existing provider. It's a one-to-one match for those existing in-home folks up to $500. So we've got folks who are putting in new carpet, refreshing paint, building out another space in their home to make it easier to provide that just amazing critical service to our families. So just wanted to mention that. And then I'm going to do another plug for Festival of Lights. Tasha had to run her kids to school. So as Katie mentioned, it is a longer time frame this year. Last year it was only 4 days, and now it's 10 days. That's a lot longer. and for those who went through last year or previously, you'll know, there was someone to welcome folks there during the key hours that it was open, so 5 to 9 p.m. on each of those nights. And so we are looking for volunteers. Just wanted to stress that again. It could be a family, it could be a work group, it could be a church group, it could be your service club, and Carla,
No, Otter Riser, Kiwanis is taken.
Like a whole evening almost. So if you want to, beat the that club and do, 2 days. Yeah. Or split it up. There are still a number of time slots. The commitment that we ask for is a minimum of an hour, just 1 hour. It goes really quick. It's fun to see the people, again, the smiling faces of the kids, the windows rolled down, and they're so excited. So to provide that welcome, it is one of our largest fundraisers of the year for Otter Cove. So representing Otter Cove in that statement there. And there is a fish house. Our family will be the fish house host this year. So we got it out of storage before the weather was coming. So last weekend we got it pulled up. It's sitting in my driveway. Gina,
Yes, about that.
There's a city ordinance we need to talk about.
Jean's my neighbor. So it's ready, it's freshened up, we wiped everything down, and so it's ready, so we'll be there and be warm. So if it is a cold evening, to rotate in and out, it is a really fun time. So if you're interested in giving of an hour or more, you can see Katie to get that sign up. There's a sign up list, so you can see the online, so you can see that, or get a hold of Tasha. But your support would be really appreciated in that. So thanks for the extra time.
Thanks, Amy. Yep.
Good morning. My name is Steve McElmurray. My company is Max Impact Coaching. I help people to connect when they communicate. And on next week, Tuesday, the 15th, I'm going to be hosting the John Maxwell's Global Leadership Symposium, the Live to Lead. So that's our first time being able to have it in Fergus Falls. The speakers are going to be Tim Elmore, who wrote a book that most of y'all might be interested in, A New Kind of Diversity. There's, for the first time in U.S. history at least, we have 5 different generations in the workplace. from the builder's generation, like my father-in-law, to my kids who are Gen Z. So how do you be equitable and inclusive to all 5 of them, who have a different way of looking at work, a different way of looking at work-life balance, roles of authority, all those different things. Tim Elmore wrote the book on it, A New Kind of Diversity. Perhaps you've experienced it, or maybe felt this way yourself, somebody on your team, that I like working here, it's just not a good fit, right? Patrick Lancioni, his company is the Table Group, discovered the 6 working geniuses. When you figure out when you learn the widget, I don't remember what all 6 of those words are, but it spells widget. So when you learn the widget, which is in the 6 working geniuses, it can reorganize the people on your team to get them to where they're working in their unique zone of genius. You can eliminate a lot of that friction because they're working where they naturally fit. Doris Kearns Goodwin is for decades, has been a presidential historian, Pulitzer Prize winning author. She's going to be speaking. She brings presidential history to life in a way that's really fun to listen to. So that's going to be on Tuesday out at Life Church on 210 on Tuesday the 15th.
Hi, my name is Sean Bonet, and I work for DNR Parks and Trails, but I'm here as the current chair of Visit Fergus Falls. And if you don't know Visit Fergus Falls, we're an organization in the town that's based on, we're funded through a small little fee that's attached to each hotel room sales. So that's the funding source, and that's part of that kind of directs our mission, right? Is we want people to come to Fergus Falls and we want them to stay in a hotel. But we also know that none of us travel for the sheer sake of a bed we haven't slept in a place where that's an unfamiliar place, right? We want all those things to be comfortable, which is that partnership with the hotels that do a great job, but really they come for everything that's in this room. It's the community, it's the resources, it's all those things about it. So part of what I get into guys talking through reviews is I see those symbiotic relationships. And in the past, we have a board that's made up of people just like people in the room. Some of you in this room are on our board. It's a mix of everybody in the businesses, and we're always looking for members and groups like that. It's not entirely a shameless plug, but it's also like, we do need a few more people. It's not a forever quit job. We do rotate people off just so we maintain that mix, but we need people like you so that we're in touch with all the reasons people want to come to Fergus Falls. And we have a lot of reasons that people come to Fergus Falls. So, but that's not really why I'm here. Part of what I'm here is to promote our new Army of One. And I say new one because most of you know Gene. That's also our organization too. We're pretty nimble that way. It is an Army of One, but it's an Army of One with lots of connections to everybody in this room. Greater Fergus Falls, the Chamber, the hotels, all the businesses and activity that make this an awesome place to visit, all the passions. I like hearing like everybody's story of like why they came to Fergus Falls and like why they discover it. Because I have one of those too. I've been here 9 years ago. And we started the search for a replacement for our executive director. One of the first things that struck me with Rolando as he started talking was he was saying the same things. We were all bonded that way. Everybody in this room has that exact same story. And we use the exact same words to describe how Fergus Falls makes us feel, what we see, what brings us here, and those kinds of things. And so for me, I can't speak for the other executive directors that are the past ones. So the way we're set up here for the hiring thing, you know, Mike was our chair last year. I'm this year, Chris is next year, Katie's the year after, so we kind of worked through that kind of hiring process there a little bit. But we all heard that piece of it. We all kind of shared that with Rolando, like, you know, we can't claim that we've got generations here in Fergus Falls, but that is really part of that blood that drives this town and that vision that sees it. And seeing somebody new come to our town and have that vision immediately and start to being able to show it. And as you get to know Rolando a little bit too, you'll see some of the talents and the gifts that frankly I think just fell from the sky and landed here in Fergus Falls for us. Because you'll start seeing some of the social media, some of the YouTube stuff he ever has with the Roth quickies and things like that. He's already been doing the job that we're going to be asking him to do more of for free, but we're hoping to make a good reason and a good intent to like keep him here and lock him in and see that vision. Because part of what we asked each of our candidates to do when we interviewed is, and they only had a week to do it, is throw a little bit of what's your vision of putting things to. And I have to say, when we all saw that and the stunning view of just within a week's time for him traveling, maybe sometime he would probably want to polish it a little bit more. It looked pretty doggone polished to me. But to be able to show that the group, to see that vision through the eyes. And for us, much of what that is, that's very much what Visit Fergus Falls should be, is we need to try to show people that aren't from here that vision of what this town is and why you should come here, why you should come here and stay a night, why you should come here and stay a weekend, why you should piece a trip to Uncle Eddie's with a show at the theater, with breakfast at the Vikings, and do some shopping for some clothes on your way home, and why you should piece all these things together, because that's what makes a community, that's what makes a business atmosphere, and we just are encouraged and excited to be part of that too. So I don't know, Rolando, if you want anything to put you on the spot to introduce more of you, but please, if you know, have a chance to have conversations with them. I just appreciate the eyes of the beauty you see in our community and how you're able to communicate that and do that for us. So, thank you.
Well, yeah, let me. Well, I didn't know I was going to do this.
We're friends, we're all friends.
All right, well, my name is Rolando Filitola. I come from an Italian family that moved to Venezuela in the rough times. And I grew up in Venezuela, then I moved to the United States and did 30 years in Miami. In Miami, I worked for a national network, Univision. It's the largest Hispanic network in the country. And I was a creative director there, and I worked for them for 18 years. So working for a network like that, at some point I was working 24/7, no life, no nothing. So I started thinking, you know, I just need a simpler life. I wanna move to a small town and have like a quality life. You know, start like doing the stuff that I really like. My passion is photography. I do videography too. And when I came here visiting, I just fell in love with the town. I went to Maplewood State Park and I was like, what? I love this park. I didn't want to, the first time I went, I was there like for almost 8 hours. And I thought I was lost and nobody was going to find me there, but I fell in love with it and I thought, you know what, I'm going to move. I'm going to move to this town. And I did. I bought a little house. I have an Airbnb here, so in some way I'm going to pay my salary too. So, I started, you know, I was so inspired by the beauty of this region that I started promoting it. I started doing I have an Instagram account. You can follow me, RAF Photography, RAF_photography. And I opened a YouTube channel called RAF Quickies, where I go to the area and show a little bit, you know, what is this. I started with Glendalough State Park, and now I'm working in Maplewood State Park, and I just want to show, you know, everybody in the world, and the people in Latin America, and the people in Europe, and the people in Miami and everywhere in this country, how beautiful this part of the country is. And because I work like almost 18 years or a little bit more in marketing, when I saw the position of Visit Fergus Falls, I say, oh my God, that goes like a ring on my finger. So I applied, and you know, here I am. I hope that I'm going to be a good help for all of you guys, and vice versa. And I think that we're going to work together pretty soon. Because my job is going to be lure people to come to the town.
One final thing. When he showed us a RAF quickie that you made at Glendalough, I think.
Glendalough.
It was 13 degrees below zero.
13 degrees. Oh, 13 degrees.
Is that why he called it a
And you were like, you were so enthusiastic. It was great. He said, I can't feel my nose, you know. But That really impressed us.
Well, I mean, so as a little quick fact, I never in my life lived through a winter. Never, because I grew up in Venezuela, which is the Caribbean, and then lived 30 years in Miami, which, you know, is almost, it's the Caribbean too. So,
Change of seasons.
last year was my first winter. I cannot say that I really love it,
We'll get you through it.
but I can find the beauty on it too. So, you're right. When you said it.
Welcome from the whole community here.
Can I say just one more thing before we?
Yeah.
So circling back to the child care appreciation, so Patricia and I are part of that Rural Child Care Innovation Program, RCCID. So the provider appreciation event, there are also some surveys, and I can get those to you, Lisa, maybe to send out. I think they have been sent out.
Yep, we've had the letter.
There's a survey for parents and a survey for employers to give feedback on their child care experience, because we want the employer perspective and the parent perspective on how it might impact your business or your organization. So that's a really important opportunity just to get feedback for our group. And then January 30th, I believe, there's going to be a community town hall. And so we'll probably plug it at the next Chamber Cafe too.
Right.
And that'll be an opportunity for the community to come together and kind of start discussing solutions. But so if you could fill out that survey before then, that'd be super helpful.
Right. We want to encourage all child care providers to get to the first one on December 1st. They get credit, so that's really important. So if you have a child care provider, encourage them to go. If they seem hesitant, hey, I'll watch your kid for an hour so you can go, or whatever. We just want them to get there because it is about them. We feel that they need support, they need to feel important, you know, that their job is important, and they need to feel validated and some positive things for them. So this is for them, this appreciation event, but the event in January is more of a big town hall for everyone to participate in, so that we can hopefully get our child care providers and daycare, you know, get that going in our community and build that up. So door prizes are welcome. I know some of the, we're on the committee, but it's broken down into like data planning and so on and so forth. They're struggling to get door prizes. We want to get these child care providers in to this appreciation event specifically, and we want to be able to give them door prizes and gifts and whatnot to show our appreciation. So if you have anything that you want to donate, it could be a gift card, a gift, a service, a massage. I mean, you know, they need they need to feel appreciated. Talk to Katie, talk to myself, reach out to whoever, and we'll be glad to take those donations so that we can have that for them at that event.
Thanks, Patricia. Yeah, if you're looking for, so for those of you, if you don't have kids in childcare, think about how much you appreciated your childcare providers when your kiddos were little. Pam Muxfelt was my daycare provider. She was the best daycare provider. Perfect training for working in her role with all the team sports and all that kind of stuff, managing the little one. But if, like I said, you can always buy Fergus Bucks. Stop by the chamber, pick up $20 in Fergus Bucks and add that to the donation, because we need those child care providers so all of us can go to work. Amen, right? So it's gonna help our workforce.
I need 10 seconds to say Noon Rotary, Sunrise Rotary Rose Sale is today at Service Food. Buy a dozen roses for $25. Support local projects like the Splash Pad.
Woohoo! All this good stuff.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah. See, we're so flexible today.
So here in Fergus Falls, we have a family Cub Scout group, which is boys and girls. And we have a boy troop, which meets out of Living Faith Church. They recently moved to Living Faith from Grace United Methodist. And we are in the process of starting a girl troop here in Fergus Falls. And so our next meeting is this Sunday at OLV at 6:30. So if you know anybody that has a daughter that is age 11 to 17, invite them to come to that meeting. If you need other information, You can reach out to me. Information is on the chamber site. If they're interested in Cub Scouts or the Boy Troop, they can find that information online at vascout.org. The Girl Troop you cannot find online because it's not chartered yet.
See, you're the first to know. The first to know. Awesome. Well, we're going to give away some prizes today. In addition to some cash and some Otter Cove gift cards. If you are a retailer and you want to stop and pick up some signage for on the floor, if you want to pick up what I dropped on the floor, for Shop Small, always welcome. Some signage, some stickers, posters, that type of thing. Feel free to grab these and hang those in your windows because we really appreciate when people shop small. And first to come to the table after we draw for prizes, Chris and Jean already, they're the closest right now, but since you've come to Chamber Cafe, so come and grab one of these great Shop Small travel tote bags, earth friendly and all that. Put your groceries in there. Okay, some prizes. I'm so discombobulated. What the heck? Yeah, throw me a flag. Thanks, Steve. Let's see. All right, so we got half the cash. You got to spend it locally. Feel free to buy a prize or a gift card, donate it to somewhere. Let's see, to the children's caregiver. Hey, good karma. Steve is our winner. All right, well, we've got 4 passes for Otter Cove. Katie, do we give them away all together? Yeah. Okay, 4 passes for Otter Cove goes to Patricia. Congratulations, Patricia. Thank you all for coming. Please stop by and pick up a poster, a shopping bag, and we will see you on the big screen or the small screen or the phone screen January 12th, but I'm sure we'll see you around town once I know how much you guys are out supporting the community. Have a fantastic day.